Hey guys, so last night I went saw a double feature pre-screening. I haven't done a pre-screening in like forever. One of the main reasons I haven't been doing it lately is because I have been doing a lot of double features, and when I do a lot of double features, during pre-screenings, I don't ever get home till about like 1 a.m. and it's kind of exhausting for me when I go to work the next day. I kind of made an exception because last night because like I got home about midnight, which is still pretty late, but I was like, all right, I'll deal with it. Um, the first movie I saw was the Purge election year. I was really looking forward to the Purge election year. This movie, as far as the other two go, you don't know what my thoughts are. The first one I didn't like. I thought it was a wasted opportunity with a great concept that the Purge has. It's really batshit insane concept that this movie, like this series has, and all you do with it is make a generic home invasion movie, really, and also you have some really unlikable kids that kind of hurt the movie, and then after not liking the first one, the second one came out, and I fucking loved the second movie. I thought it was exactly what the hell the first one should have been. It embraced the craziness of the idea. It just had fun. It also had Frank Grillo just playing a really awesome role in it. And he was the best part of the movie. And then I hear this one, Frank Grillo's coming back, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm all for that. um, and I was really pumped for this. And the trailer sold me pretty much instantly with the cheesy tagline of "Keep America Great" and all that shit like that. It's like, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be one of those movies I'm just gonna sit back and have fun. And you know what? Between this and The Shallows, yeah, I've had this was some of the most fun I've had in a theater. I had a lot of fun watching this movie. I like this one as just as much as I like the second one. It's it's yes, if you want to pick it apart, you can. But it's one of those movies that I just didn't care for the most part. Um, Even stuff that I would nag about with other movies, I just had fun with this one. Frank Grillo is awesome. God damn it, have him be. If they're making more movies, which I don't know if they are after this one, make him be in every one of them, please. This guy is fucking awesome. How is this guy not an action star? I don't know. Like Frank Grillo is like convincing as a badass. Um, I like somebody said he is like the Punisher in this series. Like the second one, he was like the Punisher. That if the Punisher was in the Purge, which would be kind of fucking awesome. Somebody please make that. Uh, and like he's a guy that I definitely agree should have been the Punisher if John Bernthal hadn't done so great. Uh, but he's awesome in this movie. Like he's just as good. He's kicks ass. He's your stereotypical action star, but he works, man. He has badass lines and he does badass things. Um, he's not a bad actor either. I want to say that, but like this is not a movie really about acting. uh, like show off your acting skills. It's mainly just for a movie just to have fun with. I also like the girl who played the senator. She's an actress I've seen in things before. Like I didn't recognize her from the trailer, but as soon as she had her hair down, and, like took her glasses, I was like, oh yeah, that's that girl from Santa Claus movies. The girl that was Tim Allen's wife, played Mrs. Claus. All right. I've been wondering. I don't ever see her in a lot of things, and she always pops up every so often in something. And it was kind of nice to see her in something again. I always thought she was a decent actress, and she's good in this. You get a pretty decent character out of her, and you want to see her succeed. Um, she's a decent politician, like going up against these ruthless, to say the least, uh, people or party that's the founding father party in the election. And she wants to try to get rid of the purge because of all of her past of being her whole family was murdered in front of her during one of the purges. Pretty much you've seen that in the trailer, but yeah, it's like she's a decent, she does a good job, you know. Like the acting is really that bad, you know, really as far as in the acting department. Also, you have this guy who was kind of a hit and miss for me because of I don't know what his name is, but he's an actor, black actor. I've seen in a million movies before. He's one of those guys like you recognize instantly, but you don't know his name. I forget. I forgot to look up what his name was, but he's plays this convenience store owner who, during the purge, all he wants to do originally during the beginning of the purge is just to protect his convenience store from a lot of just from particularly just these spoiled teenage brats that want to take over his store and just ruin his store, which I'll get into that in a second. But he has he's a decent character in this movie, but also what kind of almost kills his character is that he has some really cheesy what the fuck kind of lines of dialogue in this movie. The two I remember the most. One where his Mexican employee, the guy who works for him, goes to join him on the roof of the convenience store to be on the lookout for anybody who's trying to vandalize his store, and he sneaks up on him and he scares him at first, and he goes, "Man, don't you know not to sneak up on a black man on Purge night?" That was kind of funny. But the line that I will never forget, maybe the line of 2016, is where he says, there's a point where they're in a van and there's a group of black Crips coming towards them. And I am not making this up. I can't remember the exact quote, but it goes something like this, where he says, "Oh God, here comes a bunch of black people, and we're a bucket of chicken." Yeah, that is a line uttered in this movie. I was like, what the I sat there with my hand in my head, or my hands and my head in my hands going, what the fuck? That's a line uttered in this movie. I also really like about this movie, like, just the weird imagery that you see throughout this whole fucking thing. It's like the second one where you see a lot of crazy imagery that just, like, kind of sticks with you. You almost want to hear the stories of some of the people that you see in the background. Like, one of my favorite ones was, that woman who was sitting on the bench singing something, and next to her is just somebody on fire. You're like, I want to hear the story of what happened here. Like there's a lot of that, and there's like somebody who is in a car, and they have 3 women tied up to the hood of their car for some reason. Like, don't you just want to kill them? Like, why you got them tied up to your hood of your car? I don't know. I want to kind of know the story behind that. Also, like I was talking about those girls that are spoiled girls. This is gonna get nitpicky, but there's these spoiled girls that want that get caught trying to steal from this guy's convenience store, and they come back on Purge night and try to vandalize his convenience store and burn it to the ground, and they come up. They're dressed up like in these sexy schoolgirl outfits and shit like that, and with like masks. You've probably seen it in the trailer. Like it says "Kiss Me" and shit like that, and they come out in this fucking all the movies. Everybody has like these decked out cars and shit like that. They have the most ridiculous decked out car I think I've ever seen in a futuristic movie. They have it just wrapped around in fucking Christmas lights. How the fuck are they be able to drive in that? Like, really? Like, I'll give this movie credit. Like, they do kind of swerve around the road, but at the same time, they wouldn't be able to fucking see. I know this is nitpicking, and I know that's just kind of picking apart, but I was just like, really, how are they able even to drive? Like, there's no way. I'm sorry, but there is no way. It's like literally covered from head to from the hood to every part of the car is covered in Christmas lights. I don't know. That's just kind of a nitpick. This movie also is. I've heard one of the complaints about this movie, but this didn't bother me because this is. I knew this was exactly what I was expecting going in. This movie is about as subtle as a heart attack. Man, is it? Oh God! Like there's the storyline that they kind of don't. I was hoping they would kind of go more into it, where there's uh, these people from other countries coming into America so they can get involved in the purge, which I was like, is that allowed? I was like, I guess they didn't really ever set rules about that, but I guess why not? I guess that's different. And they're like, we want to live the American dream and be able to purge or anger away. And I'm like, okay, that's about as subtle as it fucking gets. Also, it's a movie about the wealthy, profiting off of deaths of, or profiting off of like the deaths of, or the purge and stuff like that, and the NRA and everything else. I'm like, did anybody just figure this out? Like, and that would be one of the first things that would be pointed out instantly, really. But it's like whatever. It's like it has a political message throughout the whole fucking thing. Like it's like whatever. This is exactly what I expected. This is like the Saw 6 of sequels. Like, where Saw 6 was just weirdly had this weird stance on healthcare and everything else. This movie has a stance on a lot of different things that are pretty timely. They are pretty timely, though. I'm pretty, like I told somebody, I'm pretty certain that if Donald Trump becomes president, we're maybe 2 years away from fucking having a purge. I've told people this a million times. That movie is not that far fetched. I would not doubt that like somebody Donald Trump will watch this movie and go, you know what, that's a good idea. Let's have a purge. Yeah. This movie is fun. It is. It's just a movie you sit back and you have fun, and it has like one thing I'll give this movie also. It has a great payoff, like the second one did too. Had really good payoff. This one has a good payoff too, and I'm kind of interested in where the series goes. I don't know if this is gonna be the last one. I highly doubt it will because this is Hollywood, people. This kind of hints that like, all right, we're gonna end the series like from here. I think they kind of were planning that like, okay, there might be a chance that audiences won't go see this because it's but if they don't, we kind of gave it a good conclusion, although it kind of gives hints at like a sequel. Honestly, with this kind of series you could kind of go a bunch of different ways with it. Honestly, you could make more sequels. You could kind of show past purges and tell different stories. There's so many possibilities with this thing. That's what I like about the Purge series. It's like you can go a lot of different routes with it. I hope they do. It would be kind of fun, but well, I don't know. Yeah, I highly recommend the Purge. If you like the first two, well, technically, if you like the second one, and you didn't really like the first one, you'll like this one. If you like the second one, like I did, the second one was just a lot better, man. But this one I thought was just as good as the second one. As far as trailers go, I got What Now, a new trailer for that. Kevin Hart, stand-up documentary, stand-up film, where it weirdly begins like it's being a parody of a Bond movie. Like, what the fuck? Like, is that needed? Like, I know, like, does that. One of the things I hated about the last Kevin Hart movie, what was that fucking movie called? That one that was a stand up film that came out a few years ago, was all the bits in between, like, the stand up stuff that he was doing, they were showing. Like, just, I don't need to see that. Like, I'm glad to see Kevin Hart have all the success. Like, filling up the whole fucking football stadium is pretty cool. That is really cool. He is generally a good dude, and I'm glad to see him have the success he has. I don't know. It's one of those, like, I like Kevin Hart, but we'll see. Lights Out. I got a new trailer for this. This is one of those trailers that I hate a lot. I know a lot of people that hate these kinds of trailers where it shows quotes from critics who praise this movie, which apparently this movie is getting 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Holy shit. I was like, this is one of those movies, like, from the trailers, it looks really creepy and scary, but it's one of those movies that, like, I'm kind of leery when that happens, when you see a scary trailer, because sometimes the trailers are better than the actual movie, make it scarier than a movie actually is. But apparently this is getting really well received. Like, one of the stupidest quotes, though, was there was a quote where somebody, this was an actual quote, it's on Rotten Tomatoes, look it up, where he said, Lights Out does for being afraid of the dark what Halloween did for slashers. I'm like, what? That makes no sense. Like, really, if you think about that, that makes no fucking sense. Anyways, I'm looking forward to Lights Out a lot. What else? Jack Reacher, Never Go Back. This is gonna be simple. I never saw Jack Reacher. Like, after I was watching this trailer, I was like, why the fuck have I not watched Jack Reacher yet? I love Tom Cruise, and I love him in action movies. I hear pretty good things about Jack Reacher. This looks pretty good. I gotta get around to fucking watching this movie. I was like, this made me go, okay, before this movie comes out, I'm gonna go watch Jack Reacher now. So I hopefully won't. I probably will be seeing because I love Tom Cruise, badass Tom Cruise. And the last one was a new trailer for Bad Moms. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of the, I talked about this a week ago about this trailer. It's about moms that are fed up of, trying to be the perfect moms, and they decide to go crazy for a few nights or whatever. Whatever. I don't know. It has a couple laughs here and there, but whatever. It's got a bunch of talented people involved in it, but I don't know. Mila Kunis, Kristen Bell, Christina Applegate, Catherine Hahn. But yeah, that's as far as trailers go. I'll be back in a few minutes with my other review.